Equatorial Guinea is a country west of Africa. Uh, we meet a man called Balthazar Engonga, who is not just any economist. He is, or he was, the Director General of National Financial Investigation Agency in that country. He's fondly known as Bello. Now he's making headlines for something a whole lot messier. As it turns out, he allegedly recorded over 400 videos with the wives of high ranking officials across the country. And we're talking major players here. The list of alleged relationships includes the wife of the Director General of the police, the wife of the Director of Presidential Security, the Attorney General's wife, the wife of his pastor's little brother, his godfather's wife, his sentry's wife, his bodyguard's wife, 15 friends of his younger sister, his pastor's wife, the wives of several ministers, including Minister Uburu, his own little brother's wife, his uncle's pregnant wife. Now, the list is endless of allegations. Um, Now, one would ask the question, how did this information see the light of day? Now, during a fraud investigation against Engonga or Bellu, officials decided to raid his house and an office without warning, and what they found was a collection of videos which didn't exactly hold financial data. Instead, each one supposedly featured Engonga with a different woman, many of whom were married to powerful men, you see. Some of these tapes even show him in his office next to the national flag engaging in illicit activity with mentioned women. Now, the fallout has been massive. Ahora, EG, which is a local media outlet in Equatorial Guinea, reported that Ngonga's tapes have been circulating since October, causing an uproar unlike ever seen in the country before. And now leaked videos have been popping up online, and has met national and international scrutiny. The government has called the scandal a serious blow to the nation's image and has promised swift action. This is a mess to say the least. Um, and the public's reaction has been pretty strong. People are not only questioning how someone of such high ranking position could pull off something like this for so long. Um, well, I hope that people who are affected by this can find some form of clarity um, soon.
Now, that's a lot to take in, but we're here today to break it down so we would understand the traumatic implication of this event. The very first that sticks out is spousal betrayal. Imagine what the spouses of these women who are equally men of influence, imagine what they're going through right now, especially that this has become public and it goes hand in hand with feelings of humiliation, feelings of shame. That leads us right into stigmatization. The shame of being associated with such a public scandal that has received international attention is immense. It can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, even PTSD. That's post traumatic stress disorder. As a matter of fact, I just learned that one of the women involved in this case decided to take the route of suicide. Stigmatization, especially um, in a society that is African, could be immense. It makes it difficult for people involved in that case to heal privately. Identity and self-worth issue is another problem. At this point, these women who were involved in this scandal would begin to question their entire existence. They would question their values. They would go back and back and back again, asking themselves why they did what they did. And their spouses are not left behind. They will question their inadequacies, asking themselves, where they went wrong. Are they not enough? So much that their wives go seek companionship with someone else. The impact on family and marital dynamics. Imagine what the scandal will do to the trust in a family, in a marriage. There'll be a strain on the relationship between spouses. An event like this would make the couples head towards separation or a divorce. And if there are children involved, especially if they're young, they wouldn't understand. They'll be frustrated. They would ask questions that, you know, would probably not have adequate answers. And before you know it, the unit upon which our society is built will be torn. This leads me right into talking about the social and professional consequences. Now, this would not affect only the couples and their children, it will affect friendships, it will affect professional relationships. In every social status that you find yourself, there is a network of relationships. People will take sides in this issue, and this will cause a strain on already established relationships. Or people would decide to keep off so they don't tarnish their image. Social status is at stake here, and people would watch out for themselves or they would take sides, which would cause a breakdown in social and professional relationships. When you have such high level cases of infidelity, like what we have on our hands, um, you would find intersections of betrayal, public exposure, power dynamics, and a whole lot of social fallouts. Let's remind ourselves in moments like this that we should approach this topic with compassion, approach it with understanding that humanity makes mistakes. Treat people with mercy, be kind, especially if you have access to these people. It's not a time to make jests or, uh, you know, find the comedy in it, even though a lot of people would do that. But approach with kindness, approach with support. And I really do hope that those affected by this find some kind of healing because it is possible to find healing even after such damning events.